Vertebrae's pants becoming tighter as that 5-man ulti went off.
Dude,
For anyone who
that
did.
was such a... Taken from somebody who has... I have level 7 mastery on Lissandra, and that was a fantastic play. To kind of just even notice the opportunity there. To go in, and she literally dove into 5 members.
Yeah, her team was on the way, but it was just her for her initiation. Her W
Exactly.
5-man route into ult. Pretty much perfect Lissandra play there.
Yeah, perfectly timed and everything.
Waiting on some technical difficulties from Cloud Genesis right now.
I'll be right back in that case.
So what do you think the ban phase is going to go like? I'd imagine maybe just the cog ban. I don't think they would ban the Renekton, as it wasn't really a problem. I think they kind of picked into it poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think you can leave the Renekton up. Maybe look for the Cog, the Janna ban.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
very strong duo at the moment. As well as Lulu, maybe just target the
Yeah.
bot lane.
Draven out.
Foolish child.
Seriously? Seriously? Lame.
Hunger never sleep.
Alright, I'm back, guys. You guys there?
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry,
Did
I'm
you watch
trying to
that
add
last
the
game?
trying to add the overlay in right now.
No, I wasn't, I missed the beginning of that and then came in a little late.
It's okay. It's okay. We're talking about what we kind of expect for bans.
I'm on to you.
I did see a little bit of the selects. It's interesting to see already we have Kog'Maw ban, Lissandra ban. Those are picks from last game, I believe, right?
Yep. Jarvan coming out. Good flex.
Looks like
905 playing Renekton this time. Also
that
kind
was
of...
on the other team, right?
That was on the other team, yep. So maybe taking that comfort pick away from them as well. A lot of pressure. Good into Jarvan if that is a top lane.
Warwick jungle locked in. Maokai jungle again. That was also another pick from last game. So I guess you would be right there, Jarvan top, right?
Yep.
Unless
at
they
least
decide to
that's-
switch those.
Yes.
As a quick reminder, this is a best of 3 series, where the winner will advance directly to the semifinals in the Phoenix League playoffs.
Good reminder. Good reminder. I was like, what are we watching this for?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Alright, as we move into the second ban phase, looks like 905 will be looking to take out bot lane bans here.
Yeah, both sides already picked up the upper half of the map here. We got
As you wish.
top jungle and mid already picked up. Vert, tell us a little bit about this Orianna-Talia matchup.
Let me get in there.
What can we expect to see from that?
I would imagine that Orianna wins. I think Talia has a little more range with her Q, but if you time the shield, you know you can get the QW damage just as powerful as Seismic Shove. I'd imagine Talia looking for more roams. To be honest, probably not trying to 1v1 as much as Orianna will be.
Yeah, both these mid laners pretty capable of shoving the wave and roaming to help their side lanes.
Yep, exactly.
Talia also pretty vulnerable to the Maokai and Jarvan ganking the mid lane, so that's something that she'll need to look out for.
It's interesting to see how these teams have already come together, but 905 looking more for picks and generally trying to avoid the team fighting that Cloud Genesis is going to probably try to force here. I mean, with the Jarvan pick and the Orianna
Ori.
combo, I
Yeah.
mean that right there is screaming that they want a team fight. So
Another Soraka pick over here. I mean, I think there's. I'm not, shitting on Soraka. I think there's other champions, at least right now, that do what she does as well. To be honest, I don't know why I don't see Sona picked up as much. I think she's a much bigger abuser of Ardent Sensor than any of the other supports. But at least for an AOE kind of team fighting comp, the Soraka just, I don't know, doesn't fit in as well.
and likewise, looking at the other side here with Cloud Genesis, the Nami pick, of course, good to fit into team comps. I would have liked to have seen something maybe a little more team fight oriented from the AD carry, but I mean, Vayne should still be able to spit out respectable damage for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they wanted something that would be able to kite the Renekton and keep itself safe, because they saw, well, they themselves last game showed what the Renekton is capable of if it gets the early game lead.
Yep.
And of course, on the other side here, 905 definitely doubling down. Jhin is great for getting additional picks, and I think it would be interesting to see which sort of style here will actually end up in forcing its will on this game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, top lane matchup is definitely in stone now as Jarvan and Renekton.
Yeah, 905 here going for a very early to mid game focused comp. The Vayne, the Orianna are going to outscale the Jhin and Taliyah by the late game, as well as the Renekton going to fall off. So they're going to be looking for a lot of early picks and jungle pressure from the Warwick as soon as he hits that level 6 mark.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting matchup to follow top lane. Both could actually win that matchup depending on whoever is able to get the better of the trades. It's also interesting down to note on the bottom lane matchup, you know, with Vayne and Nami. I mean, Nami definitely has a lot more kill pressure, especially taking Ignite against the Soraka, who it appears to be
Exhaust, I think?
Exhaust,
like
I
exhaust.
think, yeah. A little bit cut off there, but yeah, it looks like exhaust and heal for Jhin and Soraka. I mean, I definitely look that to see that Vayne and Nami would be able to get through laning phase pretty successfully here, given that Soraka is only going to look to keep the Jhin alive, not as much with the pick potential with it, or the kill pressure really with it.
Nami's also going to be pretty useful in fending off any Warwick ganks. Even with the ultimate, Nami should be able to keep Vayne safe from those.
Yes, and I definitely look to see Maokai try to come in and take advantage here with Nami being able to sort of lay down that primary CC for a gank, and then Maokai's able to come in, add in, and layer on with the root, and then also with the Q to also sort of push them forward a little bit and try and actually chain them long enough to try and get something.
Yeah, especially with Jhin and Soraka being the pickups here. Jhin usually having to farm with his Q is gonna be forced to push the wave, as well as being relatively short ranged. So if Jhin and Soraka do end up pretty far in that bot lane, look for the Maokai ganks to follow up on that Nami CC as you pointed out.
Yeah, and if I'm Warwick, I mean, as much as I would want to try and help out bottom lane and try and help keep the Vayne shut down, I would actually try to get a little more pressure elsewhere where I might have a little more success, especially top lane, with Jarvan's only escape being tied to 2 abilities. If he uses either of those in lane, he has a window of opportunity to sort of strike, and Renekton, again, also able to stun and help set up a gank. Same with mid lane. Mid lane, Orianna doesn't actually have the mobility spells, even though she could speed herself up, shield herself. She doesn't actually have the mobility to get out of lane fast enough. So if I'm Warwick, I'm looking somewhere between top and mid. As much as I would want to try and keep Vayne down. So as we load this in, it's taking a little while. I'll be right back.
All right.
Sometimes the game likes to load very slowly, right?
Yep, that's true. Gonna go ahead and put out an announcement on the Discord here and let everyone know Game 2 is loading up.
Looks to be a fun one though here. It will really be interesting to see just how these teams are able to sort of push their team objectives on the other team. With 905 looking more for picks and maybe not necessarily trying to team fight as much, whereas Cloud Genesis will definitely look to try and push those team fights, try and force those engages. I mean, with 4 kits really strong for team fighting, I mean, that's definitely what they should be looking to do.
Alright, here we are. We're loading in.
Just starting to get in now there. So hopefully our feeds are synced up here. I'm just coming up on 15 seconds.
15, 16, yep.
Okay, looks like we are all set. So we'll see if they have any invades early on here. I know by the early going here where everybody's going, looks like just defensive positions against early invades.
And you can see the pretty standard now Doran's Ring start on Jhin, which is gonna make him a little less able to trade in that bottom lane.
Yes, it's very interesting to see that, but it's definitely good for sustain and definitely the pickup on him.
Yeah, Jhin a very heavy user of his spells early on for farming. Gonna be able to keep up his mana relatively well.
And of course, looking elsewhere, Jarvan taking Corrupting Potion against Renekton's Doran's Blade. Both supports running Coin. That will be very telling for how the lane is probably going to go. I mean, they're both very passive, but of course I don't think anybody really picks up Spell Thieves anymore, even some of the supports who used to pick that up, right?
Yeah, I've seen Morganas and other mages opting for the coin now. Ever since those buffs that they gave it a few patches ago.
Definitely dominating the support starting item.
Pretty standard start from the junglers here. Warwick getting leashed on his blue, while Maokai gets leashed on his red.
Of course, with the saplings there to help out. The one wasted sapling.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Those saplings are very good for that, that's for sure.
Those bush saplings early on really speed up his clear. Yeah, that's true.
So top lane, we've got some early trades going on already. Be interesting to see who actually does come out on top in this, just because of how both champions I could easily see win the lane.
Yeah, Renekton with that sustain in his kit, probably gonna have a bit easier time in the early game. Pretty infamous for bullying people out of the lane early.
Yes, very true, but if Jarvan is able to play this effectively, he definitely will get the better end of it. Especially if he's able to utilize his longer range Q poke.
Yeah,
but of course, that
true.
will make him vulnerable to ganks.
Yeah, you can see Warwick already on his red, maybe looking up to top lane as soon as he finishes his clear here.
And a very quick jungle path there. Maokai very slowly trying to get across there, but of course Maokai went and did Raptors right after red, whereas Warwick went to Wolves, then red, then Raptors. Of course, the difference in the clears are showing there, so...
Yeah, Maokai, more of that AoE ability to clear, whereas Warwick is very single target.
Right, up until Warwick is able to get Oh, we already looks like we're going to have a gank already. Renekton pushed up, does not have it warded, and Maokai's looking to push
Yep,
in.
that EQ. Oh, Renekton, great flash.
Yeah. Of course, Warwick might actually look after he's getting Scuttle Crab peels off of it. They're going to look to collapse on the Maokai, who probably will need a flash here.
Good damage from Renekton there. Looks like
he's able to get out with the slow from that sapling. Of course, now he goes back to farming the Scuttle Crab.
that flash
Everything is
on
back to business.
flash on Renekton early on is pretty valuable. Renekton loves to push up waves and kind of bully people under turrets, so he's gonna have to play a bit more carefully now.
Yes, definitely. He with even though he does have his dashes, he's still very vulnerable. That's for sure. We got some aggressive trading going on bottom lane there a little bit.
And you can see Maokai looking top again, trying to take advantage of that flash list from Renekton.
Of course, he was already scouted out by the wards along the way, so Renekton, knowing he's there, backs off. Probably back and look to teleport in as Jarvan is going to push this up. Of course, bottom lane very aggressive here. Trying to take advantage of Vayne's weak earlier game there.
Yeah, and you can see even the fourth shots from Jhin not doing very much damage with that Doran's ring start, but they're able to get Vayne pretty low.
Of course, he's able to get another one moved up there on Vayne there. She's definitely taking heavy damage. But of course, that's what it's nice to have a support for. Nami's able to help heal it off.
Yeah, right now Vayne just looking to farm up and get a couple of items under her belt, because that's when she's really going to outscale and be able to 1v1 the Jhin.
Of course, every so often she is sacrificing basically Nami's mana for getting that additional farm, and she's keeping pace. So I mean, if I am Cloud Genesis, I am actually okay with this and want to keep doing that. If I'm 905, I want to try and maybe sort of force a little more out of Nami, make her burn up more mana, and try and prolong this as long as possible.
Yeah, and
Of course, with having that Soraka allows you to sort of take those extra risks. She's there to heal you up and, you know, make sure you're able to come away from those trades on the positive end.
Yeah, and her heal on a relatively short cooldown, so able to keep healing Jhin as much as needed after these trades.
If you weren't looking at the champions themselves and just looked at how much trading happened and looking at their health bars right now...
Oh, RyderTV caught out in the jungle being collapsed on. Forced to flash. Oh, great catch from Talia there.
Enough, though. We got the Ignite coming down. That will not be enough. First blood goes the way of 905.
Definitely a different start than what we saw last game.
Yeah, very aggressive play there by Ryder on Maokai there to sort of play up like that, and 905 is able to punish that.
Yeah, his mid laner did not have priority, so that was an interesting invade he decided to go for.
And of course, top lane, we got this interesting... Ooh, a little bit of getting stuck there in the wall, of course.
Warwick on his way up, though. Jarvan's gonna have to get out of here as quickly as he can. Oh, will he pick it up, though?
First, though?
Oh.
Flashes, and
he does pick it up.
Get it, wow. Jarvan able to pick out a kill even though Warwick was there, and is he going to get out alive?
Talia coming in as well.
Did not have enough mana to Q.
That was about the best that Jarvan could have hoped for there, but great job to trade 1-for-1 in that 1v2.
Yes, and at the cost of his flash, but definitely turned around a sure loss into a little bit of some extra gold there.
Warwick getting 2 kills early on, though. Look for him to reach level 6 very soon and start using that pressure.
Yeah, definitely he has the tools. It's just a matter of being able to exert that pressure now across probably mid and top. Again, with bottom lane being so far pushed in.
A great poke on the Vayne there with the 4th shot as well as the 4th bounce of the Jhin Q.
Yeah, bottom lane definitely, 905 definitely has a lot to sort of push in there, but they are getting that farm lead now.
Yeah, starting to pick up a little lead for themselves.
Yeah, with Jin being up 10 farms so far. Of course, with them constantly pushing in, you have to think eventually Warwick will come down to try and help push them off the waves and try and get some dragon pressure. Sort of help keep them down that way. Of course, top lane, very low both sides again, going for a lot of trades.
Yeah, neither top laner having teleport available to go back and heal if they need to, so they're going to have to stick this one out.
And of course, Renekton has his sustain, but Jarvan does have his flasks there. He has one charge of it left.
Yeah, both top laners' ultimates coming back up recently. Maybe looking for the all-in here.
Yeah, I think Renekton should be able to...
Oh, Maokai on his way up, actually.
The ults come down. Is he going to turn that around?
Now he will not be able to pick up the Jarvan.
Ryder taking advantage with the ult there, and also the fact that the control ward was down there. Sort of helped mask a little of that.
A lot of really close plays for Asus in the top lane this game.
Yeah, that very easily could have gone either way on both deaths of his. But of course, sometimes it's just how it is. Jin getting some more damage down there.
And as opposed to last game where we saw Renekton get very fed in the early game and take over the mid game, O2 Renekton at this point, who's losing in farm, is not going to be able to make much of an impact unless they're able to come back quickly.
Yes, that's a very good point. At least on the side of Jarvan, he's able to sort of have a little bit more uses out of if he were to be behind. Of course, 905 right now going for a dragon here. Warwick soloing the dragon, Cloud Genesis has no vision of it right now. And does not look like it will be contested at all.
Yeah, it looks like the first dragon in the game going over to 905. Great pickup there from Genis.
Yeah, very good dragon to pick up too, a mountain. And of course, it looks like we're having something set up bottom lane here. The wall comes down.
Ultimate comes out. Vayne's flash is available. Oh, but the Warwick ult also comes down. Oh, great turn by Vayne.
Wow. And of course, Vayne's able to get out, having Nami body block some of those shots.
Really great turnaround from Cloud Genesis there.
Yeah, it looked very much like a losing exchange, but they come out on top there.
Yeah, really great technical ability on Vayne there from Azure.
And of course, now everybody's sort of gonna look to get back to their regular laning patterns. Bottom lane pushing in, or he goes back to try and catch her wave. And top lane, we got to fight.
Cloud Genesis did use all of their summoners in that exchange bot lane, except for the Nami flash. And meanwhile, 905 still has all of theirs available, so look for the pressure to be building up on 905's side.
Though the one thing to note is Nami still has her wave available. Her tidal wave ult is still on the table, so she might be able to help them keep this tower alive. The question is, if you're 905, do you want to actually push that tower in and try and get it immediately? To try and force a lane swap to try and relieve some pressure off of Renekton? Or do you try and keep this up and just try and keep this farm lane going? Looks like
I think 905 making a good call there and taking the bottom lane. Going ahead and opting for that early gold lead now to try and offset what's happening in the top lane to Renekton.
Yes, and then we'll look to see. They're gonna go mid.
Wow, great following from Ichai there.
Of course, is that too deep? Is that gonna get him killed?
It will.
It does, but we got the teleport coming down from Renekton. Or, yeah, Renekton's teleport there.
Yeah, forcing the flash out of Jarvan.
And of course, now 905 has the pressure. They can sort of keep pushing here. They have the dragon. So, keep pushing and try and get a little more damage on this tower, but they're outnumbered mid lane.
Interesting that Orianna there didn't pop the barrier. She must have thought that she was safe after the flash, but a great follow-up flash from Talia.
Yes, definitely a good play there. Maybe a little on the greedy side with it. One of those, you know, oh, I'm out, I don't need to use it. But I think in that case, with both flashes being burned, I think you have to use that barrier. But of course, now with that still on the table, see how she's able to turn this around on it.
905 choosing to rotate their bot lane into the mid lane here and put Renekton in the bottom, away from Jarvan.
And it looks like Jarvan might get caught here with Warwick. I believe he just laid down his Blood Suns.
Oh, it looks like Warwick will not be heading into lane to catch Jarvan.
Yeah.
Do not have vision of him there.
Oh, Ori might be picked here.
A great setup from Soraka. Usually you don't think of Soraka as a playmaking champion, but Gang School here showing that she can set up some skirmishes.
Yeah, just a bit of damage. Again, the lack of damage that Jhin has in the earlier parts of the game is showing there. If that's a few more minutes ahead, might be able to pull it off.
Wow, solo kill there from Talia onto Orianna. Great roam.
Even with Ryder there to sort of help out Pike Cthulhu, it wasn't enough. I mean, with Ryder not fully in position to really help out there, but definitely a very good pick. Again, 905 showing that they're looking for picks. So naturally that will take advantage of some of the split up team members here, and of course we're looking for another pick. But Jarvan's able to get away with his usual flag and drag combo there.
Oh, Renekton flashing in on Jarvan, actually going to stun him up. Follow up from Talia and Warwick. Looks like Jarvan will go down.
We have Ryder picking up the kill there, turning that, and the question is who's actually going to come out on top of this. Cloud Genesis.
Wow, Nami's heals coming in very clutch in this fight. Oh, Orianna immediately canceling the Jhin ultimate.
Yes, very good ult there to sort of save everybody else, as Jhin easily, Berserkk could have gone off and probably killed every single one of those with ult shots, but that ult not only gets his team out alive, but it is able to get a lot of damage on them and make them rethink about trying to follow through with that.
Yeah, great patience from Orianna holding on to the ultimate. Usually in team fights like that, some Orianna players will go ahead and use the ultimate as soon as they arrive at the fight. But being able to hold on to it and look for a better opportunity is a sign of a good Orianna player.
Yeah, it's definitely a very clutch ult there. That very much could have turned things very sideways for Cloud Genesis had Berserkk been able to pick up 3 kills off that ult. Of course, it's really starting to show that the team comps, like I said, those picks are really starting to come through, and I look for most of the fights at this stage in the game to sort of come off of these picks that 905 is going to look to set up. It's up to Cloud Genesis at this point to really try and take those fights and sort of weather the storm of the early pick and turn it around into a full-fledged team fight.
Oh, looks like Nami caught out here by the Talia. Will go down.
Yes, Blue Sun picked off there, but
yeah, trying to set
really
up vision for his team around that dragon.
Of course, 905 now getting that pick. They have a bit of control around Dragon, but Cloud Genesis is looking to try and take some of that back. But meanwhile, on the Rift Herald, 905 not being contested at all, no vision really by either team, no wards they're really around. So 905 is going to just get that Rift Herald.
Talia solo killing Orianna once again. I believe it's the 3rd time.
It's very interesting. Oh, she now is going to get picked off here.
Yeah, kill goes to Jarvan. Great pick off there in the river.
Yeah, that was definitely. She's been getting a lot of picks. It's almost ironic that she gets picked off herself there.
Yeah, Vayne making great use of that wall stun. Already able to get about 3 or 4 important stuns this game.
And we already have the Rift Herald going down now, mid lane. Jhin pops his Ghost Blade. They're going to look to try and exert a lot of pressure here to try and usher this in, to try and take some towers. I have to think that after they try and push this in, get the tower, and then maybe try and work towards the dragon. With a 2nd Earth Dragon on the board, that is a very useful tool to pick up. So a little bit of the fight going down here, mostly just poking back and forth, bit of a trade, but nothing to really commit to a fight.
I would have liked to see 905 hold on to that Rift Herald and wait for their mid laner to revive before using it, because a lot of their wave clear is on that Talia, and they weren't really able to support the Rift Herald with Talia down.
agree with having the full Cloud Genesis team basically in position to sort of intercept it. All they really get out of it is just the damage of it ramming in. Of course, you might be able to take that Rift Herald and maybe use it somewhere else. Maybe take it to a side lane to help exert some pressure if you need to.
Yeah, that's true as well. Maybe get that Renekton set up in a side lane and set him up with the Rift Herald. Try and get him back in the game. He's still working on his first item, as you can see. Having a bit of a rough early game.
Right, whereas his counterpart Jarvan has the Tiamat, is not going for the Titanic Hydra first, as Renekton is opting to do, but he already has the completed Cleaver. Of course, now at this point he probably will look to finish his Tiamat, but he is at full item ahead.
Oh, look for the turn here. Talia coming in.
They look for the dive here, but that was a good ult by Jarvan to actually interrupt the dash, but of course Renekton gets 2 charges of that. He's able to get out and sort of live to fight here to try and push this in again. The question is he going to get any help?
Yeah, Cloud Genesis is taking advantage of that top lane play to pick up a mountain break there.
Yeah, with all the vision that they had up there, they were able to see that good amount of the team was up in that area that they would have no problem picking that up.
905 does gain mid lane priority, pushes the wave in and picks up a mid lane tower. Great job there by 905 to retaliate for that dragon. Jarvan did use the ultimate top lane, so it's not available in this fight.
Yeah, it's not available. But Jorah's looking to sort of go off here in the fight, almost unnoticed.
Yeah, Zerg jumping onto the AD carry Berserkk and able to take him out.
Now the question is, they are going to probably pick up Warwick here, and they're going to get Cloud Genesis with a 2 for none there on that.
Yeah, ping's going down onto the Baron as well.
Yeah, get the dragon, lose the tower, but they are able to turn that.
Talia trying her best to delay them, maybe trying to prevent the Baron pick after this tower, but ultimately falls.
Have to be a little concerned. Asus is still top lane. He's backing now, but with teleport available, and I believe it was available throughout that entire exchange, might have contributed a little bit. Just, I mean, with the sheer numbers of Cloud Genesis being able to just sort of overcome that. 905 not really able to really do much in that fight, just being outnumbered.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him teleport in early on in the fight, but I do agree with the team's call for him to stay top lane. Kind of push that lane in after they lose the fight and gain some priority in the top lane in case they do go for the Baron.
Yeah, certainly after it's already said and done, definitely, you know, once the fight's sort of committed, you either get the teleport or you don't. So it's actually good that you didn't see that teleport come down after half the fight's over. At that point, then you sort of lose out on both sides of it. You don't get that pressure top lane, and you also used a teleport, and you possibly could have end up dying into that. So
Genis got out here. We're forced to use the flash.
Just with that Jarvan ult coming down too, so that will be off the table. But Warwick's flash being gone does sort of help some of the carries for Cloud Genesis probably feel at ease.
Yeah, very good flash there. If Warwick goes down in that situation, Cloud Genesis immediately would look to turn onto the Baron, having their smite available.
So looking here, both teams are very evenly matched. I mean, the difference being there's only one inner tower lost for 905, and all 3 outer towers lost for Cloud Genesis. However, the gold is mostly even, with only the 200-300 range difference here, 400 I guess, in favor of Cloud Genesis, but the dragons are even. What would you do if you're 905 right now? How would you try to play this right now?
You got 2 items on your Jhin and your Talia, which are both doing pretty well and pretty far ahead at the moment. So I think that you can look to start setting up vision around the Baron and maybe try and bait them in. Go for the initiation. You also know that Jarvan is down for a couple more seconds, but it has been down for about a minute or so. Maybe try and look for a fight in that time period.
And of course, with them being able to try and get picks, as long as they get their vision, I'm actually going to switch over and try and just their vision right now.
Oh,
They
okay.
need a little bit more ward coverage, but they have a lot of it around the Baron where they believe most of Cloud Genesis is. Meanwhile, if you look on the Cloud Genesis side, they do have Baron warded. So they are aware if 905 is to start this Baron, and they have a good idea of where 905 is for the most part. Well, Jarvan getting rooted. He might be picked out here. The Jhin ult comes out, landing some of the shots. The Renekton is
able to get onto the Renekton here.
He is too far up, and he is picked off by the rest of Cloud Genesis.
Yeah, Renekton kind of baited in there by the Jhin ultimate, going way too deep.
So definitely right now with Renekton down, Ace is down. It's just a matter of trying to see what they can try and Cloud Genesis might be able to do to try and maybe remove some of that vision around Baron, and maybe try and get some of that control back. Because
Yeah,
right now 905 has tons of it.
also an Infernal Drake coming up in about a minute. The both teams will maybe look to. A lot of times when the Baron's available but neither team feels confident in trying to start it, teams will look for that Infernal or Mountain Drake coming up and try and set up a play around that area.
Yeah, Infernal Dragon is a very important one to pick up, so with both teams having an Earth, I mean, this might be a little bit of a difference maker for some of these fights. Of course, we're starting to get to a point in the game right now where some of the defensive itemizations is going to be very important. And right now, if I'm 905, I'm looking at that Ori being a bit further behind, even though she has the never mind, we got a fight breaking out here. Is Vayne potentially caught here?
Vayne taken very low, but able to get out. It looks like Nami ult used for disengage.
The whole team is there minus Orianna, so Cloud Genesis, they don't want to fight this. They want to try and stand a little further back. 905 not quite ready with the tools to try and force that fight to take advantage of Ori not quite being there. Of course, Dragon is spawning in right now. Massive wave bottom lane for 905. They have a good bit of pressure right now that they could try to get something out of it. With the 905 looking to get the fight off here. Azure was able to kite the Warwick back and able to get the kill.
Yeah, meanwhile Jarvan diving in essentially 1v4 and coming out with a double kill.
Yes, definitely shows a little of the disparity in gold right now between the top laners with how far Renekton was pushed down. And of course, with Warwick gone and also two others with Soraka, Thalia down, it sort of makes sense to sort of just get this Baron right now. And of course, are they going to have any issues here? Is Renekton Jhin ult coming down?
He's going to hold that fourth shot. Oh, no, he's going to hit.
Is he going to pick somebody off with that? No. Oh, my apologies. Also, it's an Earth Dragon, not a Infernal.
Yeah, I think it's a spectator bug where every dragon appears as Infernal.
Yeah, looking out on the top left there, yeah. But either way, a second Earth Dragon would be very important. But then again, if I'm Cloud Genesis, I have the Baron buff. Try not to fight over the dragon. Try and use that buff to sort of push in, get some towers, and
yeah, once you kind of
sort
cleared
take
that tower line around the bottom and mid lane, maybe take out the tier 2 of each with the Baron buff, you have a lot easier time starting on that dragon.
right. Get the pressure in the waves, and then get ready for that. But of course, right now, Jarvan is top lane. He does not have teleport. Renekton is sort of looking to go a little further through the jungle to maybe cut across. Actually stopping it right off, but Cloud Genesis has priority on the dragon, but
she will not follow it though. Probably a good call. She would have immediately been bursted down.
So as I was getting at before, is Azure gonna pick up something there now? Okay. They're gonna look to try and get this bottom lane tower. Meanwhile, Jarvan top lane, no teleport, but he's just being left to his own devices to just sort of take the towers. Azure playing very aggressively, moving up, tumbling forward.
Yeah, Cloud Genesis able to just send Jarvan up top, and no one's able to match him. Thalia trying to wave clear, but against the Baron minions, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, especially given how much gold he has right now. Just the thing is, if I'm 905 right now, I'm trying to weather this storm. Maybe you have to give up a couple inner towers. But yeah, with the Nami ult buying some pressure, but of course Jin is able to set up. Now he feels safe with no Nami wave. But Azure is very... Oh wow, with a
great
nice
Orianna
Orianna.
coming out there.
That Orianna might have been what really turned that. Azure was playing very aggressively there, and he was not really punished by 905 with that. So now they're able to just sort of pick up this inhib tower. They're going to get the inhib. Are they going to look to end this here? The Baron buff foregone for the next at least 15 seconds.
Yeah, about 15 seconds on the rest of 905. Will they be able to push in here?
They're certainly going to try.
Azure showing a great showing on this Vayne.
Yes, I was a little unsure about how this would fit onto the team comp, but they've really played around it very well.
Yeah, you can see there, again, hiding the Warwick, just unable to lock him down.
905 just not really being able to answer for it, with Jarvan being able to do so much damage and get to the backline. So that will be it. Cloud Genesis takes this game.
And takes the series.
Oh, they take the whole series, okay.
Yep.
Then yeah, the whole series...
2-0 for Cloud Genesis.
Cloud Genesis there.
Yeah, you can see here Renekton's damage output being much lower than Jarvan's, and I think that had the game gone on longer, or had he been able to get some tank items, he might have been able to be a bit more useful. But losing early as Renekton kind of sets you up for failure.
Yes, definitely, and we honestly never really got to the point in the game where most of the people were able to actually get their resistances. I mean, as a Renekton, you get your Titanic Hydra, and you start to try and get into those tank items, but he never really got the chance to get around to it.
Yeah, and Vayne just able to kite the Warwick and Renekton every team fight. No one really ever able to get onto her, so really good showing there from the Vayne with the self-peeling and the kiting.
Yeah, and also sort of having that confidence once you get a bit of a gold lead with Vayne being able to sort of play that far forward, sort of try and get them to come at her, and knowing that you have the Nami to help make you feel safe, the Maokai can help peel them off you, and also with the Ori ult that comes out just at the right time. So even though Pi Cthulhu was a little further behind, he was able to pull off the very clutch ults and sort of get the damage down when he needed to, despite being a little further behind.
A little surprised by the Jin Soraka pickup here. Jin not really a champion that can make use of the Ardent Sensor like other AD carries who auto attack more. So maybe would have liked to see something else paired with the Soraka that could have made better use of that Ardent Sensor.
Yes, I agree, especially with Soraka looking to get that. I mean, the other option is, despite it being a very good choice and you can use it on Warwick, it seems like they never really got a chance to fully implement that. But I think the thing is, once things started to go downhill for 905 with the kind of comp that they had, I don't think there was any going back once Cloud Genesis was able to sort of assert their will on their team comp. Like, again, trying to get those team fights going.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Currently talking to RyderTV, who's the jungler for Cloud Genesis. If any of them would like to do a quick interview with us to get some more insight into that game. So we'll keep you updated about that.
We can actually start, if anybody is around, we can actually do some interviews here. We can switch over to the other Discord. Actually, no, never mind. Forgot they're using that because there's other games going on today as well.
Yeah, so we're in the team Discord here, so we could just invite someone into our general chat.
If anybody wanting to do a post-game interview over in the Phoenix League All Chat, just take that link to the Discord channel for our team, and we'll be willing to get you in here and get your thoughts on the game. Both 905 and Cloud Genesis. Anybody willing to come over for that, come on over. So it looks like...
Should we move into the public channel? Is that where we would do it?
I should be able to move them on over. Ryder, come on in. Jump into one of the voice channels in here. I'll try and move you around. And of course, Ryder with Cloud Genesis playing Maokai. fairly strong showing there. So let's whatever.
Are you there,
Hey there,
Ryder?
Ryder.
Hello. Hello.
Yep. Welcome aboard. Definitely a strong showing by your team here to sort of pull off this 2-0 sweep. Of course, I missed the first game, but definitely a very strong showing this game. Once you guys sort of got the lead and didn't really look back. Tell me a little bit what you guys were thinking as you guys were starting to get your team together and in the early parts of the game. How are you guys feeling?
I mean, early game, the first game especially, we were really surprised because, we just were trying to play passive and scale for late game, but we got actually a surprising lead early game, which just helped us all the more, and we just kind of, we knew we could afford to fight, and that's what we did, and we just kind of got too ahead of them in the first game at least. Second game was a little bit more closer. They definitely had an early lead on us, and it could have went quite bad, but we all played it really well when it came to team fight, I think, and overall just won, I guess.
Can you talk a little bit about your efforts this game as Maokai to focus on that top lane early on to try and help keep that Renekton down?
Yeah, we knew, I don't know, we just knew that Jarvan and Maokai, obviously, we have a lot of gank pressure, and he was playing really aggressive and didn't have any wards for a little bit, so we just kind of burned his flash right away. I don't even think we got a kill on him really, but still we kept the pressure up there, which just kept him behind really and not able to do anything, and Jarvan obviously just outscales him.
Yeah, definitely was good to sort of prey on that. Yeah, you didn't get the kill early, but I mean, I think that was enough to sort of push that pressure back in favor of your Jarvan there. Just to sort of keep Renekton a little further down there. So
yeah.
Tell us a little more here about with these team comps. How exactly did I mean, obviously, I'm not doubting it right now, that's for sure. But the Vayne pick definitely seemed a little confusing to me at first for how you guys wanted to play your team comp.
The Vayne was more that, I don't know, she can go invis with her ult and stuff. It was more to avoid a lot of the things that they had, because they had, Warwick who can just jump on you and.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It was more just kind of to help the Vayne to help with like the late game kind of team fighty kind of style that we had, because Vayne is very strong late game.
Of course.
It wasn't necessarily to avoid what they had exactly. That wasn't like the main reason, but it definitely was a factor. It just kind of worked well, because if they don't get ahead in lane, it's fine. It was Soraka Jhin. They couldn't really do a whole lot either when it came to late game, especially against Vayne, Nami really.
Right, and we did see a bit of with 905's bottom lane sort of able to exert their will on the lane for the most part, but then of course a Vayne as always is going to scale and it is going to hurt. So I mean, definitely don't doubt it. It fit into just how you guys were able to play. So I think it was a very good pick there. So
yeah, lane we were a bit down in CS bot lane, but it wasn't a big deal because it's kind of what expected against Jhin as Vayne early game, and eventually though they didn't really die at all in lane, and it just kind of worked out.
All right, last question for you, Ryder. Can you speak a little bit about your matchup against Genus on the Warwick there? Because he managed to pull off the first blood and then get a couple of early kills. How were you able to keep up with him in the early jungle pathing?
Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly. I was a little scared early game because he was definitely ahead of me. I was warding and they caught me off for first blood, and it was bad. But I don't know. I guess, like I said, my mindset the whole game was Warwick, especially when he just ran straight for the Titanic. He was going for a lot of early damage, and I just knew that I outscaled him, so we just tried to do everything we could to not get him more kills, which I think he stayed at about like 2 or 3 kills early to mid game, which isn't like that massive because he didn't really get anything after those first 2 early picks on him, which kind of just, he didn't do a whole lot compared to me in team fights then, because we just started forcing team fights, and he just couldn't land his ult really well on Vayne, and even if he did, we had a lot of peel and just Nami heals and wasn't doing a whole lot.
Yeah, definitely. Great job there by the whole team coming together for those team fight comps. And congratulations once again for winning this quarterfinal match against 905.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good job overall. You guys definitely played some very good games, and it'll be interesting to see where you guys will go next in this tournament. So
I think we verse like you guys next week or something, don't we? I don't
oh,
really
this will be fun then.
Oh.
I know we verse you guys. I don't know if you have to verse someone first to see if you do verse us, but I know we verse the winner of either your game, or I don't know if you're just a free slot this week or whatever.
I believe that would be
Bye.
us next week then. So we'll
Yeah.
look at you then next week.
That'll be interesting. Well, good
Yep.
luck. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck and good games today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Ryder.
Thanks for casting.
Yeah, and thanks for coming in too.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Yep. You
You
too.
too.
All right.
Now we're going to go to the other side here with 905 Berserkk is looking to join in here. Hey, Berserkk, I think you're muted right now, but
Yes. All right. There we go.
there we are. All right, so obviously, the result isn't exactly what you wanted, but either way, I still think it was still a very good, well fought game, and honestly, I did think in the early parts of the game, you guys did have a good bit of a lead. So tell us a little bit, of course, what was going on, in some of those early parts of the game there. I mean, of course, you guys in bottom lane definitely pushing them in and sort of trying to keep the Vayne down and farm and everything. Tell us a bit more about that.
Right, well, we were trying to put as much pressure as we could, but the Soraka lane doesn't really allow for much poke, so Nami heals just pretty much canceled out everything.
Yes.
Other than that, our mid laner was doing pretty good early on, but then there were a couple questionable ultimates where he got caught out. And
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
He's kind of new at the game. He's not the best. Once he starts badly, he just does a lot, and then yeah.
Well, definitely. I mean, he didn't look out of place. Especially in some of those earlier parts, he was getting a lot of picks. He was getting a lot of kills. Honestly, he was a very strong threat, and I guess you are correct. Up till, I mean, there were some of those ults that ended up sort of coming out that may not have been ideal, but I mean, definitely there were some picks that you guys were looking to lay down, especially bottom lane. What ended up turning around and Cloud Genesis getting a kill in the end of it, but I mean, at first it looked like it was going to be a very good idea there, sort of catch them off guard, and I mean, a Warwick all came down on it and everything.
Yeah, the Talia roaming
yeah.
down as well.
The
You
Talia
guys were
ult was
just in
good.
range to get your ult off too, so
Problem with that one is he landed on the wrong side of the wall. He went under tower when he could. He said it was a mistake by his part. I don't know, but I feel like I could have done a lot better too.
it's always good to be able to sort of say that too, and sort of know where you want to improve. But I mean, I don't think there's that much to really hang your head about. I think you guys had a very strong lane. I mean, I even made the comment during the game, the amount of damage that you guys were laying on their bottom lane, and it just gets healed off. I mean, on both sides, really. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things that it makes you want to scratch your head about it.
Yeah, really good showing on the Jhin there. In game 2, like your entire draft in game 2, really improving from game 1. I would say, able to actually take a lead in the early game.
Oh yeah, game 1 we kind of lost that one in phase, like in draft.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about, forming this team together here like this with this select. Did you guys have it in mind to sort of just really try and force for those picks and try and catch them out? Or is that just sort of how it sort of flowed together?
For the second game, that was the plan originally. I think we had a good team come for it, but we just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, really
Either
hard.
way, I think it definitely showed with some of the plays you guys were able to make and get some of those picks. I mean, the kills right now for your team were on the Talia and the Warwick, who were able to really capitalize on those.
Yeah.
So just another quick question though. How long have you guys? So I mean, you said your mid laner is fairly new to the game. How long have you guys actually been playing together? I mean, noticing also that all of you guys have your synced up names, 905. So
It's been about a month by now, I would say.
oh wow,
Really
okay.
good match. But that's not the mid laner. It's the top laner on that one.
Okay, so that's a pretty good amount of time still there. You guys, I assume, play fairly regularly together and all of that. So
Yeah, we used to before. We not as much lately because there kind of has been like a split in the team. We kind of formed two teams.
oh okay.
Okay. So what do you guys? What do you think about heading into next season? Do you think there's going to be a 905 team?
I think there will definitely be a 905 team. There might be two.
A 905 and a 906. Huh?
There we go. You got his current partner.
So
There you go.
well, I don't actually have any more questions. Do you, Mageman?
No, I think that wraps it up. Congratulations on making it to quarterfinals. A pretty good accomplishment, all in all, and a good showing in game 2 here.
Yeah, nothing to hang your head about, and I think, it's just one of those things. I don't think this score really indicates how much closer this game really was, and I think you guys had a good effort, and no reason to really hang your heads too much about it. So,
All right, thank you guys.
either way, thanks for coming in, and thanks for answering some of our questions here. So,
Yep, have a good night, Berserkk. Thanks for coming in.
You
we'll look
guys too,
forward to
no
seeing
problem.
you next season, then, too. So,
All right, I'll be there.
all right, thanks.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to the series between 905 and Cloud Genesis. Cloud Genesis winning the series 2-0 and will advance to the semifinals.
Yep, and thank you, everybody, and have a good night. And for those of you down in Florida, stay safe.
Yep, stay safe, everyone in the path of the hurricane. All right, good night, guys.